Art students, it's me. Welcome back to another. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Art students, I'm back. Welcome back to another lesson. And I want to start this lesson out a little different. I want to start it out for all the new students that have been joining me. First of all, this is going to be the position that we work with. So, second of all, I want to give an introduction to myself and more about the channel to, again, all of you new students that have joined in. Welcome. Thank you for coming. My name is Brian Proctor, and I am a self-taught artist. Okay. And when I was young, I never had anybody to teach me. I didn't have a school to go to back in the day where I lived at. Nobody knew about comics and anything like that. But I had this love for drawing, so I taught myself. And through that continuous wanting to learn and continuous practicing, I have done a lot of stuff with my artistic talent. And I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I've done and talk about what you can do too. So stay with me. If you really love to draw, stay with me just for about 3 minutes. So let me pull back and show you a couple things. All right, so because of my desire and my drive for wanting to draw and learn how to draw, these are a few things that I have done. I have done comic books. These are all my comic books with little to no help whatsoever. Oh, I guess I should name these things. This is The Next Soldier. Trials of the Samurai Clown, my flagship comic book. Eye of the Beholder, my almost next comic. I have another one that I'm working on as well. I just have this drive, this fire to tell these stories, so I continue to kick this stuff out. And like I said, most of this stuff was done by myself, like 80 to 90% done by myself. So you really don't need a lot of people, a lot of money, to do this, just time and talent. I have done sketchbooks, children's books, more children's books, more children's books. I have done drawing books to kind of show you guys how to draw. Action, action, action. And this is one is the female. This is showing you how to do females. This is all female. This is why it's called all female action. It's just a play on words. And my 360 pose book to show you a little bit more about drawing. So, that's not too bad, not too shabby for somebody that taught himself how to draw. I've also taught in elementary, junior high, and college lessons on how to draw. So if you are somebody out there that says, I'll never be able to go to college, or I'll never be able to do that. I mean, that's great and all. If you can do that, go to an art school and go to college, because I have a friend that's going to college. He's getting his master's degree now. But for some of us out there, we know that we'll never be able to go to that school. We can't afford it. We can't afford those programs or these big $2,000-$3,000 laptops for all of this stuff. You really don't need it. It helps, yes, but you really don't need it, because I never had all of that stuff. I had your basic laptop, paper and pencil, printer. You can always go out to get stuff printed and copied, and then you find a service that will actually print your books. It's easier nowadays because we have those print on demand things. Amazon makes it so easy. So if this is a dream of yours, a goal of yours, then it's obtainable. You can reach it. All it takes is some determination and hard work. It does not depend on how old you are. You can do it. All right, so let's kind of get into the lesson. Let's show you a couple more things, and then we'll get into the lesson. So as I said, I'm doing another comic book myself, and you're like, Brian, come on now, you need to work on those other comic books. And I'm looking for a page right now. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. But the thing is, as I said, there's a fire in me, and I want that fire to burn. And this is my next comic book. I've got it wrapped up. I didn't think I had it wrapped up, so hopefully you can see through the plastic. This is going to be the Animal Corps. Tell you about that later. Actually, I did talk about that on my YouTube channel. Go back into my channel, and you'll see where I talk about the story. But yeah, I'm always drawing, always continuing to learn to draw better. And this is what I do for you guys. I take the body, Well, basically, this channel is all about comics, almost all about comics. It's basically to teach you guys how to draw a lot better. Whether you want to draw comic books, or maybe you just want to do storyboarding or gaming, or just create characters, this is how it starts. Now, if you're going to be a character designer, you might say, well, it starts with the power first. But if you think about it, if you have some young girl who is with magical powers, she's going to have to be able to move. What does she look like? What is her signature pose? You know, so it starts with the body. Once you learn how to draw the body, then you can add the clothes, add the features, add the personality, add the powers. So this is what I do. I draw these drawings, these action poses. I break them down and then turn them around, so you just won't be drawing one stiff pose, so you'll know how to connect that arm. Or if you don't want that arm down, you can put that arm up, or you can bend that leg. This is what I show you, and it differs from other channels which just show you how to draw, or should I say, show you how they draw something. So my goal is to teach you guys. So I also enjoy showing the work from other art students. If you are learning and your work is coming along, and maybe you're putting a book out or something, I always tell them, hey, send it to me and I'll show it to your fellow art students. So today I'm going to show you something from one of your fellow art students just right before we get into the lesson. All right, so this is Miraculous Melanism by Juan Ringo. It looks pretty interesting, and it's not done yet, but it looks interesting, and I can't wait to let it to see it when it comes out. So whenever it comes out, I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you guys informed. All right, so let's get into this position, this lesson, and let's get started. So if you're new, or if you haven't really asked and you always wondered, you see the red and the blue, and you might say, well, why do you draw in red and blue? Once I draw something, if I draw in pencil, number one, if I draw with the regular regular lead, you can see this, but it's hard for me to see because of the glare, because of my light. So I usually draw in the three colors, the pencil, the regular lead, the red, and the blue. But when I draw so much with one color, and I figure out, okay, these are the lines that I want right here, then I can go back in another color and find out what lines I really want to use. So whenever I ink it, then I'll know by the color that I choose. Usually I'll start off with red, blue, and then come back with the pencil. That's why I use the two colors. So as right here, you can see how I separated the arm from the torso and the hand from the arm. It's just easier to do. And it's just red and blue pencil lead in and what are the disposable pencils, I guess, but these are not really disposable. You just buy the lead, and I'll buy like a 0.5 because I like a thinner lead, something with more of a point. All right, so again, for those who are new, what I do is I take the body. If we start out drawing by seeing something that we like and we want to draw that. The problem is we see the detail in a picture first. I wish I had a good picture that I could, that's not mine, show you guys. We see a detail in a good picture and we want to draw that, but we get scared away because of the detail. Let me grab a comic book real quick just to show you guys. All right, perfect example without seeing a lot of glare. Justice League. You might see this cover and you say, oh, I really want to draw that, or I just want to draw the Superman or the Green Lantern. And you start out by drawing it, but then you see all this detail and you say to yourself, oh, I can never draw that, and you give up. So what I show you is how to take one piece at a time, break it down, put it together, then put detail in it. You don't have to copy exactly like these guys. Everybody has their own style, and the more you draw, the more you will develop your own style. So it's okay if this fist doesn't look just like that fist, or that arm is not bent exactly the way it is. It's fine. It's your drawing. It's your art. Be happy. Be proud of it. All right, let's go. A lot of talking, not enough drawing. So let me start out with blue, because blue is been a little darker. I've had people say, oh, I can't see it. So your torso. Your torso is the most important part of the body because that's where your head sits. That's where your arms are connected. Your head is one of the things, or should I say, the number one thing that people look at when they look at a person or a drawing, because your head, your face tells the expressions of what's going on, whether you're sad, you're happy, whatever. Your face always tells that. Your body, or should I say your torso, connects to that, and that also shows that emotion by the way you stand, the way your shoulders are tilted. Someone asked me about putting, what was it? Energy and balance into a drawing, and that's one way to do it, is the torso. So if I just do the torso, let me show you guys basic torso. When I do a torso, I do it like that. That's the first part. Center line, put your head up here. I'm not gonna actually draw it right quick, but I'm just showing you the lesson. So if I did that and I kind of like did the torso and I tilted it over a little bit and I put the head here and I put the neck on it and he's leaning over, then that right away that tells you something's up, because he's leaning over. If I do that again and I bend the torso forward a little bit and I put the head down, that'll tell you something else. Okay, something's going on. So I can draw a whole book with no words. And G.I. Joe did that, did an entire book, I believe, with no words. It was a Snake Eyes issue, and you know Snake Eyes doesn't talk. And the entire book had no words. Maybe some of the what do you call the guy, the narrator's words or something like, you know, in the dark castle deep in Cobra Island, you know. Other than that, there were no words from the guards or no words from, well, Snake Eyes couldn't talk. But it was so good because the drawing, the position, you know, showed you or told you what was going on and how it felt. So this is why I say the torso is the most important part. A lot of people, a lot of books will say, draw the head first. Please don't do that. Don't draw that head first, because I could draw my head here. I'm going to draw the whole body, and then I put my neck, and then I put my torso, I put my waist, and put my hips, and I put my legs down here, and then I'll say, oh no, I ran out of room, because you started out with that head. Start out with this. The head is not going anywhere, and that head only needs about that much room on your page. So if you're drawing the torso here, if I want to draw a nice big picture, I'm drawing the torso here. I'm just going to leave enough room for the head. However the head is going to be, that's all the room I need for the head. So I don't need to draw that first. Say like, oh, I'll put the head right here and then come down. And then after you do all that detail, you realize you have no room to finish your picture. Another thing is, don't start out drawing detail first. If I draw this head, which is number one, the wrong thing to do, and then I say, okay, let me put all this good detail in his head and his face. You know, he's going to be mad, and I get those teeth right, and I do all of this stuff, get his eyes, and you know, they glare in his eye, and maybe he sees something in the eye, and I'm going to put detail in the eye. And I just work on it, and I got this thing so perfect. His hair is there, and it's blowing in the wind, and blah, blah, blah. And then I get down, and I realize something is off because I can't get the feet. Then I get frustrated, and this is what beginner artists do. Just throw it down. I can't draw. Never, ever, ever say that. You can draw. You just are not, what I'm going to say, patient, or you let your feelings overcome you. Drawing should be fun. That's the first thing drawing should be. You should always sketch first. Just sit down sometime and just sketch a picture. It doesn't make a difference what it looks like, how good it is, whatever, because you're not going to keep this and put it in an art gallery. You're just sketching, just basically one, to get your hands loose, to kind of realize, you know, what you might be weak on or what connects to what. So this is something you should do on a daily basis. Just some rough, loose sketching, and then just throw it away when you finish. You know, if the whole sketchbook thing is kind of like, you know, they just overkill that. You know, if you want to do a sketching, buy, and you have to have a sketchbook because you just don't want to waste all this good copy paper. Get a, what is it, a newsprint. It's called newsprint paper for just rough sketching, because you don't care about this. Don't go out and buy $100 sketchbook and then, you know, try to do a bunch of sketches and you don't care about. So that's another thing. That's why I don't really use sketchbooks, because they have those edges. I don't have a sketch. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hold on. Hold up. Let me show you. So close this. Maybe I'll open it up. You got a sketchbook. Sketchbooks always have these ends here, and I don't like that because when I'm drawing something, it's like a boundary to me, and I can't go past that boundary. So I usually don't do every blue moon. I will do like sketchbooks every blue moon, but like I say, I never really draw anything that I'm going to keep. You know, like, oh, I'm going to tear this out and I'm going to frame this. No, because it is just that. It is just a sketchbook that, you know, I'm going to draw in and, you know, just toss it out. So this is why I don't do sketchbooks, and this is exactly why I don't buy real expensive sketchbooks that, you know, the lights come on when you open it up and they play music. No, I just buy me a cheap sketchbook, but I have so many that I don't use. I don't know. There's like a sale. If I go to an art store, oh, it's a sale. Buy one, get one half price. I'll get it. And I'm like, why did you buy that? So yeah, anyway, you will understand that I always ramble. And a lot of times I will leave my subject to do other things. So yeah, if you're new, if you're an old student, you already know. All right, so let's really get started with this picture. So this is more of like a run and a punch picture. Let's pull it up a little bit. And of course, I broke it down. As I say, always start with the torso. Where's my blue pencil? So the torso is like this. I said I wasn't going to do the torso, but you're going to have to learn how to do it. Everything has lines that connect. It's like a measuring thing, and it's just easy once you learn those lines. Torso is like this, but your rib cage is shaped like this, okay? And you'll see this over and over in my videos because I want to break it. I want it to stick in your head the same way the alphabets, you know, the alphabet sticks in your head. When we were young, we had to sing the song A, B, C, D, E, and you know it. So this is the same thing. Once you get this down, you're good. So you're going to have a center line, which means whatever way you turn, that's where that line is going to go. Don't spit on your paper. You're going to have your collarbone right here. And I do name the pieces sometimes if I can keep it in my head right. You have your chest, which is just below, almost center of this. And right below that, you're going to have this tunnel or this mountain. I haven't figured out which one I want to call it. Right where your abs go, where your stomach muscles go. So that is what I call the beetle. And these are the measurements to keep your torso the same all the time, no matter how you twist and turn it. So looking down, looking up, you're going to have these measurements. The same way they say the face, you know, half of this, and then all your eyes, and then half of this is your nose, and then half of that is your mouth. But I don't use that measurement because it doesn't work for me. So anyway, so we're going to take the torso and we're going to turn the torso again using up my paper. I don't like to have little sketches on my example paper. So let me see. All right, so we're going to take the torso. And the torso is turned. It's not facing forward, it's turned. So again, we're still gonna have the oval like that. And once you turn the torso, it's going to, if you look at the torso from the top, looking down, it's gonna be shaped more like this than more rounded. It's not gonna be round like that. It's gonna be more like that. So if you take it and you turn it, you're gonna have it like this. And if you tilt it, you're going to see either the back of it or the inside. Depends on how you tilt it. You're going to see either more of the front or more of the back. But this is where your shoulders are going to go. And it's going to be, that hole is like, just say that it represents where your head, your neck is going to go. So you just have to kind of think of that. And that's something that I've always been strong on. Shapes. Learn how to draw your shape. Before you jump into something like this, you want to draw this, you want to make this the best thing you ever drawn. No, learn your shapes because everything is a shape. This is a cylinder. This arm is just a cylinder. This head is an oval. This torso right here is exactly what I'm showing you how to do. This fist is more squared off. All right, this is another oval. That's all this is. It's an oval. Okay, so these are simple shapes. Once you learn these simple shapes, then you can draw anything. I can take this and turn this into Batman, Green Lantern, Superman, just by putting the little costume on it. And this is what I try to show people. Once you learn to draw the figure, then sky's the limit. Draw your comic book, draw your children's book. All of that I have on my channel. I have over 300 and some videos on my channel. I've been doing this since 2013, if I'm not mistaken, because a lot of people will say, hey, could you show me how to draw this? Can you? And more than likely, I've showed it to you. Go back into the channel, go to the main channel, and then look through the videos. But what I do is once I find an easier way to do stuff, I'll redo it and show you the easier way. Just like the torso that I'm doing now. Okay, so we got that. And because you won't see this side, you'll see some underside, I'm going to do this, which is just shaping it just like this. Pretty much like this, not just like that, but pretty much like that. So there are 3 parts to the body. There's your torso, main parts of the body. There's your waist, which is just a rectangle. If you lean forward, if you lean that rectangle forward, it'll be not an oval, but I call it the tuna can, okay? Because that's what it just reminded me of, a can of tuna. Okay, so you're gonna have that. It's like a hockey puck for those people who don't want to eat fish or don't like tuna. If you tilt forward or backwards or up or down, you're gonna see that. That's the same thing as a cylinder. And we'll get into that. Is this. So if you just say we chop that off, okay? This is a belt. It's the same as drawing a big belt. If you tilt it over a little bit, you'll see some of the opening. That's all it is. Depending on how much you tilt that body over, you'll see some of the opening, but you won't see it because this is going to be sitting on top of it. But just know, if the person is leaning forward, then this is going to be rounded. And there was another question somebody asked me how to, what was it? And was it the stiff question? But one way to not make your characters or your drawing stiff is keep everything as round as possible. If you're drawing everything straight, it becomes stiff. It becomes less fluid. Okay, so that's answering some of the questions that people write and ask. Okay, so we have 3 shapes. We have the torso, you have your waist, and you have your hips. And your hips. See, I get those mixed up, the waist and the hips. Your hips are always the upside down house, because we always love to draw the house. And I know people are like, you always say that. Yes, I always say that because I want people to understand that. Just flip that upside down. You have that upside down. These 3 shapes make your torso. Any drawing you want to do these 3 shapes first, then connect them. Again, I'll go back to here. It's hard for me to see because it's such glare. You have your oval in Batman right here. You have your tuna can right here, and you have your house right here. Did I just cut that plastic? No, did I just scratch it? You have your upside down house right here. Is anybody capable? Okay, look, Wonder Woman, she's got that. Let's say that this is your upside down house right here. Her belt could represent the waist, and this is the oval right here. And of course, you have your tunnel right here, your collarbone right here. So it's just basically breaking this stuff down to where it's so simple, because a lot of people, I can't draw. You can draw. If you have that fire inside of you saying you want to draw something, you can automatically draw. You just can't see it because nobody really showed you. Even in college, I went to college for a year, and I did art class. And all they did was just set stuff down in front of you. Okay, here, draw that. And they adjust the lights. Okay, draw that. And then they judge you on how closely you can draw that. They didn't say, okay, no, you'd be better doing this. Or I see that you're more of an abstract person. Or, they judged you by how close you could draw that particular thing. So I was like, that ain't for me, Because there are so many millionaires that didn't do college. They dropped out and became millionaires, billionaires. Not saying for you to drop out of school or college, but that was their calling to do that and start a business. All right, so we have this. Once you get that, I noticed the tilt of the shoulder, which is going this way. We're going to center that. We're going to go with the center line, which is going to be here. And sometimes you got to watch out because the center line might be way up here somewhere. Where's my red? And center line might not be in the center. It might be right here because you want to show more of this. So I'm going to go here. But it's always going to be in the center of the top. Regardless, if it's here, it's going to be in the center of the top because your neck can't really, it will if you tilt it right there. So I'm not going to say that. It depends on how much it's tilted. And I always say drawing is a lot of depends. It depends on If it's a man, depends on if it's a woman, it depends on his old, depends on. So don't listen to somebody when they say, this is how you draw this. No, it depends on how I want to draw it. All right, so we have this, and then we have my waist right here, which is the tuna can. It's going to go around there. And then we have the house. So if I look at this, my center line is going to come around and go down through here. So if I do the center line as close as I can, it's going to be like that, without putting the hips. So wherever the point of that roof is where it's going to be your center line. So if the point is like way over here somewhere, that's where your center line is going to go to that point. It's going to curve. It's not going to really curve here because this is bone. This basically is bone. This does not turn and twist. Only this part here does all the turning and twisting. All of this in here. The other part is just bone, so it's not really going to turn and twist. All right, so we got this. So then I'm just going to put the house. I'm not going to try to worry about where the legs go because the legs are going to cover it up anyway. So I'm just going to put my house here. So I have this. Here is my waist. And then here is my shoulders. Now, when you lean your shoulders down, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this up here. I'm going to have my neck. Wherever this is right here, I'm going to bring the collarbone. So we're going to really ignore this part and we're going to change that. So I'm going to put my collarbone here. Well, let's bring it up more. So I'm going to put my collarbone. So it's going to be right at these lines, at the edges of these lines. And I'm going to bring that collarbone up. So you're going to see some chest. So that's where, as I say, if it's not exact, don't worry about it being exact. You can get to the point months from now, years from now. You just want to be able to do the body. So there, your neck, where's my other, I balled it up. Why did you ball it up, Brian? It was an example. I'll make sure this is the one. Okay, that's the one. You have your delts. You have your torso, collarbone, you have this, and you have your center line. Okay, so wherever that center line is, you're going to have a V that comes up to this leftover part of that circle. These things wear out. That would be my one complaint, this leg wears out. So you're going to have this V right here. That is basically where your neck is going to go. So if I go up to this point here, you go up to this point, this is the leftover circle right here for your torso. This is your collarbone. So this is going to be your shoulders. So from here to this point, you're going to have that V, the letter V, and then you're going to go up, and then you're going to put the oval for your head. So wherever this point is, this is where that V is going to come out at. So wherever this point is, this is where that V is going to come out at. And then what I do is I just do a circle like that. This is where the hole where you're going to stick your neck down into. So this is going to come out. I'll bring this out a little bit more. Because the more you lean over, if I'm doing this again, and I'll pull out the big guy in a second. Do my oval, and you have your collarbone. When I'm looking straight at you, I'm going to see your collarbone as going straight across. When you bend down to pick up some money that I dropped, your collarbone is going to be more shaped like that, and your head is going to drop down into your shoulders like that. Okay? So the more you bend over, the more this collarbone is going to take on that V shape. So the same way with this, is taking on that V shape. The head is in the way so you can't see it. So it's going to take on that, and you're going to have your head there. Now at the end of this, you're going to have your delt, okay? Which is the top part of your arm. 3 parts to the arm, 3 shapes make your arm. You have your circle, your oval, and a cone. Just like a traffic cone or an ice cream cone for you beginners. 3 shapes. When you see people trying to say, draw the arm like this, and then you draw that, and you draw the bicep, and then that goes here, and then you have your forearm goes here, and your muscle, and they don't tell you, what's the best shape to do that with, then, they're not teachers. And I hate to say it, a lot of people on YouTube are really not teachers. they can draw. Oh, they can probably, a lot of them draw rings around me, you know, all day, make me cry. But as far as being a teacher, they're not teachers. They know how to draw, but they can't really teach you how to draw. They will show you how they draw and then, you know, add a couple of words of wisdom in there. But yeah, this is why I started the channel, because as I was doing my comics and doing conventions, I would meet young kids that were like, oh, how do you do that? How do you do that? So I said, you know what, let me show people. And when YouTube was available, that's when I jumped on it. All right, so we have this. I'm gonna put my head in. I can put my head in last. I don't need my head. I don't need it. So I'm gonna come up. So wherever your chest comes up, this is where, and this point here, this is where you're gonna do your delts. But since this guy is punching, your delts are gonna shift down in across the body. So let's just do that. So what I can do is pencil, and this is why I switch colors a lot of times, because I do a lot of you know, rough, loose. Some people can just draw like this. My daughter can just do one line and it comes out right. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm always loose and I'm always sketching. So this is going to come across the body, and then the arm's going to come down, and this one's going to go around and more to the back. So these, your delts are connected to your chest. So here's my chest right here. And it actually, basically, I try to draw them as one piece. They're connected to those delts. You just have, when you're muscular, you just have like a sinkhole, I can't think of the word right now, in the delts to make your sinkhole right before the delts to make your delts look bigger. And these are your delts. These are your delts. This on top is your trapezius muscle right here, these things. And as you see, I had this first. I just went over top of that to give them bigger shoulders. It's really simple once you learn. And basically that's just triangles. I just added 2 triangles to that. And simple. Nobody teaches you that. I had to learn this myself, and this is why I'm teaching people for free. And as I said in the last video, I'm teaching you for free. So return the favor. Give me a thumbs up, a like, because, you know, otherwise you'd have to go to school to learn this, or you'd have to search far and wide to learn this. And a lot of people are like, oh, just take my course and, you know, just $89 a month. No, this is for free. I learned this for free, and I'm giving it to you for free. So all I ask is that you subscribe and, you know, hit the like button and leave a comment. All right, so enough begging. These are these are connected. So when your arms move, I know you can't see my shoulder. These stretch as well. These stretch and these pull, and they pull the chest. So if, for instance, if your arm goes up like this, if you're doing like the muscle pose, this is your delt right here. This is going to go down and it goes into your chest. So it pulls that chest up. So this one, let's just use this. Let's just say he's going to pull his arm up. Let's just do one peck, one part of the chest. It's going to be like that because his arm is down. Now, if he puts this arm up, it's going to stretch that chest to look like this. So it won't have that square-ish shape. It's going to pull because those muscles are connected to that chest in here. Like I said, it's just a little indentation to separate the chest fibers from the fibers of the delt, but it's still connected and it's going to pull. Just like your forearm and your bicep, tricep, that's all connected. That skin is connected, so it's going to pull. Not as much as the chest, but it's going to pull. That's just the example that I use. All right, so instead of having the chest down like this, the chest is going to pull itself with that delt going around. So we're going to have this, and then you have your bone right here. That part, I shouldn't have toilet paper up. This right here, your rib cage. You're going to see that, especially if you're not, you know, overweight and the skin pulls somehow, then you'll see this bone because it protrudes. Because if you draw this from the side, it's like this. How is it? No, it's like this. And because this is not straight down, this sticks out, it's going to protrude every time you lift your arm up or you pull your arm back. You're going to see this part of that bone right there. So this is why when you see stuff like this, you always see it's a lot of glare for me, so I can't see. You'll see this. You'll always see that shape because this is your rib cage right there, right here. You know, on the Batman on the side. You're always going to see that because you don't have fat characters too much. And whenever you put your arms up or pull, you're going to see that curve right there. And when I say a lot of people to do that, when I do this, I will have, you see how I jump back and forth because I'm a teacher. I teach you guys. You're going to have, so I'll do the tunnel, but if it's hard for you, just do a triangle. Do a triangle. And when it comes down to the end, go in like that. So that's almost like another house or maybe a diamond shape. Because when you have your waist, you have your love handles. Everybody know what a love handle is right there. And your love handles are shaped like that. Let me use a thing. And we're getting into this, breaking it down, but we'll get into this later. Your love handles are shaped like this. That's just that fat around the waist. And because of that, in your ribs, it's going to push that opening for your stomach in, and it goes in like that. I hope you understood that because I just kind of lost that. But that's right. I'm going to show you some of my drawing fig dummies later. Drawing dummies, my assistant teachers. So this is the only part that's going to twist up under here. Remember what I showed you when I balled it up like a crazy idiot? Was it this one? I had the third one. Anyway, yeah. Like I said, this is the only part that actually is going to twist that part in there. So this is stable. This is going to twist and then turn into there, which this is going to be stable as well. So once it's finished twisting, this is not going to go straight down because there is skin over top of that bone. So you're going to get a little teeny bit of movement. So it won't come twist and then go straight down. It's going to twist and kind of flow into that. Okay. So you won't see the abs. You really won't see the abs. And then once you do this, like the guy I had, he was leaning over. Once you lean over, lean him, Brian, lean him. Okay. The center line, I'm going to lean him over. Collarbone. Collarbone is the same way. A collarbone will only go up and down so much. It won't go down. It will just straight and then up. So, but what I'm doing is this. If you're leaning over, you're twisting like you're doing your exercise, whatever that little exercise is. You have this, your waist. You have your waist. So this is going to pinch down into your waist right here. So, and this is going to pull your waist up. So it's going to be like this. This is going to be small, then you have your thing, and this is going to go wide like that because it's pulling. So the more you lean over, the more this is going to pinch. And okay, if you got love handles, that love handle is going to stick out like that, but you're not going to draw superheroes with love handles. So that's just a, that's just a thing. You just got to remember. All right, so we got this. We got that. How long? 39 minutes. Woo, that's a long video. Okay, and I still haven't showed you yet. I'm going to add it at the end, which you've already seen once you look at it, the art from your fellow art student. At this point, as I'm filming, I didn't add it in. It's going to be edited in. All right, so we got that. We got your house. Now, we got one leg that comes across the body. So the leg, remember that leg is an oval. Draw that oval. And it's going to actually come off of this because your leg is thick. Okay, that's one part. That's just an oval. This other part is going to go back. It's going to be a little shorter. It's an oval as well. Now, let's do this. Then you have your knee. And the same thing that I said about the arms. The arms are circle, oval, and a cone. Your legs are the same thing in different order. It's going to be an oval, circle, and a cone. And if you look at it, it's basically the shape of the leg that you're going to do. You just round it off a little bit, and there's your shape. And your foot is just basically half a triangle. Simple to draw. Nobody shows you this stuff. It's really, 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 really simple to draw. This is why I say if you have artist friends, tell them about the channel so y'all can learn together, start drawing together. All right, so we have that. Then I have my circle. You can have your straight line if you want, if the leg is going straight. Sometimes I do recommend it. Sometimes I don't. I just don't do it. I'm not going to recommend it, but you know. And then you have your cone. These are for the beginners, okay? Here's my cone. So what I do is I just put a lump for the calf and I curve it. And this is another way to have your, not have your characters so stiff, is you, even though the legs are straight, you put some curve to that. You know, even the arms, you add a little bit of curve to that. I know this arm is pretty much straight, but you add a little curve, I add a little curve to that one. And that helps your character not be so stiff. All right, so let's do this foot. Now, since I ran out of room, you just talked about not running out of room. Yeah, whatever. So since I ran out of room, what I do for something like this is let's draw this calf again. Let's draw this calf right here. This leg is coming down. And here's my foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve that foot up, and then I'm just going to draw the bottom. Just draw the bottom of that foot and put that curve, you know, wherever it needs it to be. And then put that heel. And that's how you would draw the bottom of somebody's foot. You just, or somebody running, or the foot up underneath the foot. Just give that a little bit of curve, and then you give that, well, this is going to go in here. This is going to be wide if it's that foot, that left foot or right foot or whatever foot it is. Because you have that, I guess that's the instep or this, whatever that's called. And then foot comes down, and you can actually have that little pinch in it, that little bend in it if you choose, to show that it is lifting up. Say my wrist. When I lift my wrist up, you see these little bends, little pinches. You know, if you want to be all detailed about it, you know. And then that's how you could draw the foot. And I mean, if you got a heel on it or something like that, a heel, you just bring that down. If it's a big heel, you bring it down a little bit more. If it's a boot, maybe get some toe up in there, if depending on how much the foot is turned. And again, as I say, depending, that's about drawing, depends on how much you turn, you bend, you whatever, whether you see something or not. So if he's got like a big boot on, and it's not, if you're not directly, it's not directly under you, then you will see some of that toe on that boot, and however the boot is created. And remember, keep stuff round. You want to keep stuff round. Don't have like a flat line. I'm not gonna mess up my guy. I drew on my paper, that my example paper, which I hate. So just remember that. Don't have everything straight up and down. Get some curve to it. All right, let's finish this up real quick. So I'm gonna use red. I'm gonna go to use red because I'm getting a lot of pencil. What I did with my red was the blue, red. All right. So again, we have the circle, we have the oval, and I'm gonna curve this one just a little bit. We have the oval, and then we have the cone. See, this would be more of a punch. He's throwing a punch. This could be more of running, or he could have like a different kind of punch, or he threw something. This is more the punch because it's straight. You get a little curve, you have a whole different ball game. All right, so it won't be, this is not as stiff as this, but just because the muscles jump out, it's not, doesn't make it look stiff. So just add some curve. The same way with, instead of having the leg straight, curve that leg in a little bit. That overall curve. So this can come in and go like that. Let me pin this. So I'm going to do this, pin this in, and I'm going to curve this in a little bit more. So initially it was right there, but it's not anymore, so I'm going to curve it in. And then that gives it a little more dynamics to it, because it's not straight up and down. So while I've got the pin, let's do the arm. You have your trice, you have your delt. And remember, it comes where this little dip is. You have your collarbone right there. And this is going to go in. I like to put it in the center of the delt because your delt goes way behind your back like that. And I'll do the traps in a minute. So you have your bicep, tricep, and then that goes in because this arm got really long. And then you have your forearm. I don't know if this, yeah, I guess the whole thing is forearm. Like that. And again, you see that curve. I'm putting that curve. Even though the arm is straight, you add some curve to it and it won't be so stagnant. And then you just, if you did the cone, you just kind of like chop it off where you want your hand to go. And hands most times are square. It depends on, again, it depends on what you're trying to do. So I'll just do like the square right there. And then there's your hand. and then you just separate your fingers. If you depending on where your thumb is, can you see the thumb? The thumb curves around here. Here's your knuckles that go in. This is your baby finger. It curves up, and then you have the palm of your hand right there. Go to my channel. There's a lot of hands in my 360 book. I show you some hand examples. So you have your bicep. They both kind of at the center of your delt. They both kind of separate your bicep, your tricep. They separate like that. And there is another muscle in here. I don't know what that muscle is. And then it connects to the one that goes right around here. And this goes toward your thumb. This muscle will turn towards your thumb, and then there's smaller muscles in there. I don't know what they're called, but trust me on that one. So, yeah, all right. So get back to the shoulders because the shoulders are leaning down, and that's one of the things you're going to see. You're going to see dramatic. You're going to focus on this arm because it's right out in front, and this shoulder because it's kind of like out in front, and of course the face because the face is something you always look at first, and then you look at the body. All right. So you have your traps. Your traps are okay. At this point, let me pull out the big guy. I have a couple figures that I use. I'm obsessed with figures. I don't know why I continue to buy these things. I have figures that I use. And this guy is the new addition. Let me cover up his junk because he's anatomically correct. So just in case, and I'll start using this guy. And I have a female as well. I'll start using this one for some examples. But this guy, you can buy him on Amazon. I believe it's $89, 80 some dollars, maybe not. I don't know. It's not $100, less than $100 now. But this has the best muscle representation that I've seen, and it moves quite well. It's not perfect because the chest won't move and the joints get stuck. Okay, so you see like this arm shouldn't do a lot of things that it does, but after a while, the joints kind of wear out. So as I was saying about the chest, once your arm goes up, the chest is supposed to compress like that. It's supposed to stretch. It doesn't do that, okay? The shoulders are supposed to scrunch. It doesn't do that. And I think those are probably the only two things that I have complaints about other than the joint not wanting to work sometimes that I can complain about, okay? So, and I marked it in black marker to show you guys, where stuff goes. As I said about the collarbone, if I'm looking straight at you, that collarbone looks like it's going straight across. If he bends down and pick up that money that I dropped, you're going to get that little V shape. Depends on how much you go down. So if he goes down all the way, let me pop his head off. I can't pop the thing off. Pop his head off, you have that shape. That shape, like I said, this particular shape. Get it right, grab it. As close as I can come to having a shape here. That shape. You have your collarbones, and then these are your traps, your trapezius muscle. It comes around and goes up in the back of the neck. Let's use the new assistant here. Let's see if you can see this. Your traps going up. Here's your trap muscles, okay? They come from back of the neck. They go up here and around, and they go up into the neck, and they stop right here. They cut in half like they stop right under the fat cranial part right there, but it goes back down and it connects to the traps, delts. Sorry. I got this on Amazon. No, I didn't get, did I get this on Amazon? I didn't get this on Amazon. I kind of searched for the actual maker because I'm scared of a lot of stuff on Amazon because they'll get the bootleg one that doesn't look right. So yeah, if I can remember, I'll try to use the links. Okay, camera, focus. I'll try to send you the link. Why is it still out of focus? I guess it didn't like that. Or maybe it's my eyes. I don't know. This one looks clear. That one looks unfocused. So let's keep going. So we're gonna have the traps like this. The traps are kind of like football shaped, or eyes that go right to the center. So if you have, my example again, if you have your delts, and the more I try to say these words, the more it my brain doesn't focus on the words. Speaking of focusing, why does that not look focused? My hand look focused, but the drawings don't look. I don't know. So anyway, we have your collarbones, and then at this point, this is where your the end of this. This is where your delts. See, I told you, your traps come out right here and here like little footballs. And when you put your arms up, it scrunches because this is like this. So you only have a little bit of delt showing. It kind of scrunches up. Look in the mirror. So it actually goes behind the neck. So if I drew the head, this is the neck. This is your shoulders. It comes up like this and then up. They separate like that. And then they go back to your delts. I think it does it like that and then go back like that. I'm not a really back master. I know how to draw the back, but I haven't really mastered the back because every time you move in some position, your muscles change and they change. You have a lot of muscles in your back. I'll get into that in a separate video. I did a video on the back, but I want to do an easier video to learn. So this is really bugging me because it looks, I'm adjusting my, it looks really blurred. So I'm going to stop the camera and restart it again. So it really was blurred because you should be able to tell the difference. All right, so this is 50 something minutes. It's probably gonna be an hour. Let me go ahead and finish this up. Let's get my pencil again. So bicep, tricep, you have your circle, you have your oval, and then you have your cone. Can you see that? Because I'm using red. Let's go back to blue. And you have your cone. Cut it off where you want your hand to go, and then draw your hand. Your hand is a square. I would do a detailed hand, but I'm trying to cut down on the time of the video like that. Okay, so the more I pull this around, the higher this will go up and then be like that. As I'm saying, you can do your own thing, but your delts can only go back so far. So don't kind of like overthink it or over try to. It looks good for comics, but it'll only go back so far. So if I take this back a little bit more, let's just say that. I'm going to center that, take this back a little bit more, and I'm going to bring this arm back a little bit more. Make it even a little more dynamic. Like that. So that's what I'm saying. You can all do your style. If it doesn't come out to look exactly like that, that's fine. You're not going to get paid for this. You're not going to show this to the world. It's not going to be on a billboard or a commercial. Draw and be happy drawing. Know that a year from now, you will be much, much better. Don't think, oh, I couldn't get it and get mad and ball the paper up. A year from now, you'll be way better than you are today. Okay? It's just about continuing to do it. This is why I have so many books out, because I continue to do it. A lot of people don't even know that I had these many books out because I got to advertise more, which I've started doing. Okay, so we got this. Let's put that head on there. The head is just an oval. It's just the blue. Let's do red since I got so much blue and black. Put your oval however you want to put it. This is why you don't ink it first, because you might, but you all know you don't start out drawing with an ink pen. Draw your head. This head is leaning this way. I'm going to lean it that way. I can bring the chin down more. The more you bring your chin closer to your collarbone, the more dramatic the pose is going to be. Like this guy is almost covering part of that collarbone. This one is up high, so I'm going to bring this one down a little bit more. Remember, this line is going to come up and then up to your head. It's got to go up. You can tilt your head over a little bit, but if you do it wrong, it looks weird. All right, pencil time. So I like that, so I'm going to ink it. And as I say, I use my colors as a basic guideline. Then my last color, whichever it chooses to be, whether it's pencil, blue, or red, then I will go use that line that that I just did with that color. So my traps are going to come wherever my head is. You see, my neck is going to be from here. Come on, pin this pin. And then it's going to go out there. So the neck is going to twist around there, and you're not going to see much of that neck. So wherever that neck is behind here, this is where the traps are going to come from behind there, and then connect that point with that collarbone, and then you're going to have that back muscle right there. And since your head is covering that, you won't get to see that. So here is my tunnel on my mountain, or for the ribs right here. This is going to be my abs. Usually wherever this is, where it ends, that can be your first set of abs. You go down your second set. I think this is the biggest set of abs. And then you got your third set. And then you have your waist or your obliques, which they're called your love handles, your obliques that comes down into this. And you have two large sets of abs right here. And then you have your waist, hips. Yeah, I get those mixed up. Let me use this guy right here. And he's too, yeah. Everybody's abs are different. You always have different type of abs. So don't think your abs have to be perfect. Like, everybody's abs are not just straight across. Some people's abs are, one might be higher, one might be lower. Look at some bodybuilders and you can tell. But see, this is your love handle right here. And you see how it cuts in? So it's not straight down like that. It comes and it cuts in. Same way, this guy, straighten up. You have your love handle right here. This is where you bend. This is how you bend. You're gonna bend at that love handle, and it just goes in right there. At the bottom of that love handle is where you're gonna bend. Bend. So you draw your own style. So with this guy, he's leaning more this way. The arm is covering. This guy, the arm is not. So you're gonna see just a little bit of abs here. And remember, it's gonna take a drastic bend. So those abs are going to twist as well. And this is one reason why I like this guy. I'm twisting. Those abs are gonna do a dramatic bend as well. So you won't see some of them, depending on, the drawing, the type of position you have. And if you're going to dress the character, that's something else that I have to make. If you're going to dress the character, then there's no need to make every muscle. If this guy's like got armor or whatever on his shoulders, he's a soldier and he's got his uniform on, you don't need any muscle. You just need just the shape. So let's do the hip here, and we're going to do this here. You're not going to see that one. Let me bring this leg out just a little bit more. Half an oval. So if I took the cone and I put the cone behind this, I'll use this again. Here's your leg. Okay, so remember, this is representing the cone. If I took the cone and I put the cone behind it, you will only see the fat part of the cone sticking out. Again, it depends on how much the back leg is out or in. So don't let anybody say, oh, this is how you draw this. It depends, okay? So what I'm going to do here is, what is this? This is blue. So I'm going to draw, since this one is out, you can see it out, I'm going to just draw like this half circle right here. That's going to be his calf. And then from there, I'm going to draw the foot. And that's all you need. Now, if this leg was in, I think I drew that too dark to erase. I did. So let's do red. If it was in, I would draw this like that half circle, and I'd put the foot right there. Again, depends on how dramatic you want, depends on what's happening in the position. There's a lot of depends in drawing. So when you see these channels, this is how you draw that. It depends. It depends on what you want, what you're doing. Okay, so dropping that knowledge in your head, which one would you stick with that you think is more dramatic? Usually, the closer something is to itself, the more dramatic it will be. If I put my hands out, that's not really dramatic, but if I put them in, like if I got two guns out, like this, it's all right. But if I put them in like this, it's a little more dramatic. So if you you kind of want to keep everything in tight for more dramatic, okay? So if I did this and I put the arm in, if I did that, and I just gave a little bit of arm, and I kept it in, it would be more of a dramatic kind of run too, versus flailing the arm way out like that. So just remember that. Keep your stuff tight. Depends on what type of position you're looking for. All right, so this would be, since I got that curve here, this could still be a punch. Depending on the hand, since I did that, if I open the hand, somehow, some way, and put my fingers, this could be a throw. I could have some knives, some like the little Naruto knives, coming at you because of the angle, because there's more of a curve. You know, if I'm gonna throw something, I'm not gonna throw it, just throw it down. I'm going to throw it. It's gonna swing around. So this is why you can have that. And if you're doing comics, I'm gonna do this to show, you know, that he just threw something, you know, he just threw those little, whatever you call these little knives at you. Oh, I got this one here. Yeah, so you got the foot, the other foot, you choose which side you have. I've showed you this. And that's the one thing about my videos. I'll teach you guys a lot, and it takes time. A lot of people don't have the patience to watch, but those are the ones that don't really want to learn how to draw. They want to see, they want to be entertained by these other videos like, oh, this is how you draw Superman, and he entertain you for a few minutes, and then you really learn that you don't know how to draw as good as this guy because he didn't really tell you the secrets of drawing. So, and I'm not bad-mouthing other videos or other channels because they do what they do. This is what I do. I decided to teach you guys. It's not about how good I draw. It's about me teaching you guys. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. Welcome to all you guys. And you know, leave a comment. I'll answer your comment. It might take me a few days because I'm doing so much, especially with my new comic book. And helping a few people out with things. I really don't draw for other people because time-wise, you know, I don't want your book to be late because I got so much stuff to do. So I don't say, yeah, I'll draw your comic book for you. I used to, but I don't anymore. So that's going to be it. As I say, if you're new, please subscribe. Help me out. This is free knowledge. I'm sure you got more knowledge today than you had in last week. Leave a comment, even if you just say, you know, good video, and especially a thumbs up because that helps YouTube to keep my videos up for more people to see. All right, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, wait, I got to show the actual, and I usually zoom in on the end, but I'm not going to zoom in because it'll take time for me to get up and adjust my camera. So that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. No more rambling later. Keep drawing. Enjoy drawing.